Hi folks, today's video will be reviewing Canvas by Road to Infamy.
Canvas is a game for 1 to 5 players and it took us about 30 minutes to play on our first playthrough. It's a game where you are creating works of art. It's a really cool deck building, hand building, card-based game, and all the cards are these sort of clear different layers that you're putting over the back of a canvas in order to create a fun, all pretty surrealistic painting.
All of the artwork on the cards are really cool, different pieces of artwork. Like, as we were drawing new cards, there were definitely ones that we had to stop and pick up, and we're like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
So the game has a suggested start out win condition rule set to use, but I like that it provides you with a variety that you can either draw randomly, or they have suggestions on the back of the rule book that also give you like different levels of difficulty. So that's nice if you want a little bit more of a relaxed game or something that's going to be a little bit more difficult to score high with.
It's great that there's a lot of options for how many people that you can play with, as well as a solo play mode. Now, it always bothers me when games are solo play and it's really just 2-player, but you play both sides. Canvas doesn't really do that. You sort of take on the role of Vincent as the other player, but the ghost player, Vincent, isn't having a full turn. It's just sort of a discard mechanic. And so I really do like that. There's a couple of solo play options to turn it into a nice solitaire type game.
Yeah, and the other solo play is more of a puzzle where you're discarding, so it's more of a little bit more strategic for that solo play mode. This is one of the, I think, fastest to pick up rules of a board game we've played in a while, where it's really, you just have 2 options. Each round goes pretty quickly. I think for us, the longest rounds were kind of our final turns, as we were trying to figure out, like, how can I make the best painting with my last one?
Yeah, as I was playing the first 2 paintings, you make 3 in the game. The first 2 paintings, I was really just sort of creating a painting. That's what I was doing. The last one was very sort of, I don't really care what the painting looks like, I'm going for points. If you play Canvas, is that what your last round is like? Maybe that's just sort of a running theme of it. I've talked a lot about some board games where it feels like you're absolutely competing against trying to beat your friends isn't my favorite thing, and that's not what Canvas feels like at all to me. I was just trying to make the most beautiful painting that I could come up with. I think there were only 2 times throughout the entire game where I sat and tried to figure out how I could get the most points this round. I also lost the game, so that might have something to do with that. But I still had a really good time. It doesn't feel like a heads-up competition. It just feels like you're both playing the same game. And yeah, there's some points mechanics at the end of it.
Yeah, and because of the draw mechanic and stuff like that, especially with more players, you're not going to be able to kind of strategize multiple rounds. It's more of like, okay, what's in my hand? What's best on the table that I can get to? Cool, we'll go from there.
A big thanks to all of our patrons, and especially Eleni. If you'd like to support our channel, head over to patreon.com/rollforinitiative and check all the perks of being a patron. There's a couple of very tiny things that I don't absolutely love about the game. None of them, I don't think any of them are the game designer's fault. Maybe it was a little something with the printer or just the way these types of games work. So where things line up aren't perfectly centered on the card, and you're spending so much time looking at these cards laid on top of each other that it bugs me a little bit. And also there's a film over the top of all of these cards that it's a little annoying to peel off. Granted, you don't have to peel them off.
Yeah.
It just, if you do peel the film off, then the card is a little easier to see through. It's time consuming, but it's not that bad. And then the last thing is just any card game that has these clear see-through cards, it picks up fingerprints and smudges really easily. None of those affect the gameplay. I love the game. It's just, yeah, these are some little very small things that aren't absolutely perfect. still a lot of fun.
I do like that the canvas that you were working off of used the card protector that you slid the cards into. Because not only did it keep everything together, I know with some other like lay on top, the transparent card games, things can kind of shift around very easily. It also made it great because like once I completed a canvas or when Ryan completed a canvas, like we showed it to each other. We're like, that was really cool. So it makes it a lot easier to hand it over. And it just has this nice like complete, okay, that's done. I'm going to move on to my next one.
And there's plenty of card protectors. There's more than enough. So you're not running out or having to go try to find new ones if one gets torn or something like that. So good thinking ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, the playmat for it is pretty simple. It's just a nice, clean piece of fabric. The box design, while I like that there's a like chart of where to put things, it's not the most amazing box design. I will say we put everything in there and like shook it up, and the tokens kind of moved around a little bit. They're going to, but the cards didn't get all messed up and everything. So
as long as you don't store your games inside the running dryer, I think you'll be fine. The box is also really cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's a piece of art. Like, it's a wrapped frame. Well, it's a cardboard box, but it's designed to look like a wrapped piece of canvas. And it even has a little spot so you could hang it on a wall. It's just really neat, and it's a little detail that shines.
Yeah, as well as, like, the way it pulls out reminds me of, like, high-end, like, paint palettes and stuff like that. One thing I really liked is on all of the different scoring cards, the clarification was just on the back of the card. I actually initially flipped to the back of the rule book just because like that's where it is for most board games and was like, I can't find it. And then I picked up the card and was like, oh, there's writing on the back. Which I think that's a great design choice, that you don't need to reference the rule book constantly. And anybody, if they have a question, they can just pick up the card, read it, and set it down. And it had the example right there. So that made it just a nice design choice on that end.
So there you have it, Canvas by Road to Infamy Games. This was a present to us from somebody that we've gamed with in the past. I believe that they backed the Kickstarter. So we'll definitely be looking for more games to come out of that game company in the future. Hopefully you'll check it out too.
Yeah, have you played Canvas? What do you think of it, or any other games by that company? Let us know down in the comments below.
All right, until next time, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Dawn. And this is Roll for Initiative. Bye. Hi, folks. In this... Okay.
You done?
I'm
We're good?
done, yeah.
Got a dance in? All right.